ladies, and welcome to Collage Sheet Day. It is July Collage Sheet Day. Thank you for being so patient with the fact that it's on the 6th instead of in the middle of the week due to the payment cycle, yada yada yada. Basically, it is Collage Sheet Day and I have quite a lot of fun things installed for you. Should probably take my photocopying receipt out. I have photocopied these ones. Let me get my photocopies out and just show you the originals. 2 seconds. Right, I think I've got them all. Maybe. There are quite a lot as usual. Some of these are obviously doubles because I've made things larger for you. I've also given you black and white versions of things so that you can color them yourself, because not everyone likes the ones that are the color schemes that I pick. And obviously they have favorite colors that are different. Not everyone's a massive pink fan, but I totally get it. So I've done a few versions of things in here for you. Of course, there's always a nice big background page for you. I love these because you can use them to cover notebooks. This is my bullet journal for One Book July. I will be doing a sort of chat about that in the coming week for all tiers to have a chat about. I'll probably do a public a YouTube video as well. All my stuff's pouring out of my portable. This is my One Book July books that I have been using for the month of July. This is my original standard Midori. Well, it's Traveler's Factory, but when I purchased it, it was Midori, and it was my very first traveler's notebook, and I absolutely love it. And I've had it customized with balm cushion. Excuse the noise. Hubby is doing some dishes with Boo at the moment. They're about to make arepas together, so hubby's going to teach Lily how to make them. It is school holidays here at the moment, day one of school holidays, so please pray for me because I'll be home with the kids. Obviously hubby works out of the home, so it'll be fun times. But yes, I cut down a Stalogy for the people that aren't in the video tier. I cut down a Stalogy, I think it was a half, so a 365, like a half one, down to the standard size because I knew that I wanted a thick book for my bullet journal. So I just had one lying around. I couldn't find a standard size notebook that was thick, so I've already asked the $15 girls and guys if they knew of anyone. No one quite knew, so I'm asking the Hive Mind if you know of a standard size thick book for the TN that's thicker than the normal ones. Let me know, otherwise I'll be forever cutting down notebooks, or when I finish this I'll go to the stock standard, because I did almost pick this Nuna notebook, which is dot grid for my bullet journal, but I really wanted to use my standard, and that's kind of why I decided to cut it down and cover it. Actually, hubby cut it down. I can't. I could not. I would butcher it. So we have a full background piece. This is the background piece from the backgrounds tutorial video that I did last month. So there is that one for you. Very cool. This month you have some bright rainbow numbers, and I've just added a little bit of graphic border. They are really cool. They're very, very bright. I quite love them. And I also did days of the week to match. Now there was half the group wanted them cut down and half the group wanted them full, so I have given you both there to have a look. The camera is having a bit of an issue with the whole kaleidoscope feel on it. And I've also done a July in review and a little blank one, so there are your days of the week and your numbers for this month. Something nice and little and bright. I have promised black and white graphic ones for next month, and that is because I did a huge tip in for you in the black and white graphic print, and so this will be scaled down next month for black and white graphic numbers. And I know there's so many people that enjoy the graphic numbers. I've got some little creatures and things here, and some journaling spots that is more like a painterly feel. Now I love these because it means that you can use all your pens on them without having to write over the paint. I love how painterly things look, but obviously our beautiful pens don't quite love working over that painted surface very much. So I like to make tip-ins that are using acrylic paint so that when they're photocopied you can use any pen you want and not have to worry about its nib or anything like clogging it up or anything like that. This one took quite a while, which is why I'm glad that I'm making numbers next month with it, because It was a 4x4 tip-in. I did scale it up just a little bit, and I've obviously used it in bits and pieces in like fillers down the side. So there is that one there for you. I also have this little guy who was in my junk journal, and I had so many people ask for him, so I got the assistant hubby to come and help me squash my junk journal, which was a task and a half, down onto the scanner, because my junk journal, it's not in here at the moment, but it is very, very chunky, and so this was quite a task. And this is the larger tip-in. I'm pretty sure I have the original in my B6 journal. Things breaking as usual. And I used it as a tip-in card and have a black and white photo on the back. So that is this one here. And I just think they look really cool, and it's also what your numbers are made out of. But I really liked using it as more of a tip-in than anything else. Looks really good with photos backed on it. Again, a painterly. These sorts of things are just fab for tip-ins and layering your photographs on, and even just chopping them up and using them as collage fodder for backgrounds and things like that. Then we have the monsters. I did promise you both versions of the monsters in single form for your journals and planners, and I also have the one book to rule them all down here. I have a couple of little sort of emotion faces, and then turn them into little people. These guys were last minute spot fillers, and they actually became two of my very, very favorite things, especially this guy. I'm actually going to print him quite large and put him on the front cover of a journal. I absolutely love them, and I left the faces quite large for you here so that you could also collage them onto something you would like yourself. So there's those. I have some minis for you. I have the 3x4 calendar, some of the Monday mantras from the previous months in June, smaller down. I have the black and white graphic size down to make a July thing. I've also done these little guys here, and you'll see these in a second. I probably should have made this last because it kind of shows you things that I haven't showed you yet. And these are little monster sort of tip-in frames. I've actually used mine in my junk journal, and the inspiration behind this was the meetup. A lot of people had monsters in their pockets from me, pocket pals, whatever you want to call them. And so I created these that you could use them in your pockets, but I've also been using them for little notes and things. This is actually information on Lily's parent-teacher interview, so I reckon they'd be really cute as to-do lists, or they can obviously sit in the front pocket of your journals. And I've actually made them in huge form. Now these are all in your sheet packs, but I am releasing the large ones to everybody later on this afternoon. So I have these in a large form, and I've got tea stained in the large form, and in the smaller form they are blank. So I had half and half people want the tea stained versions, and half people wanted the white version. So I've kind of given you both there. So there are 4 little monsters all together, and I am missing some of them. Here they are. I've also given you all of these guys in black and white, so that you can color them yourself. So I've left them black and white. I've also got these guys in black and white that are little to-do monsters, to list monsters. This little girl was featured a little while ago. I just shoved her in there, made her black and white so you could color her in yourself as well as a spot filler. I've also got the One Book July monster in black and white in case you want a custom colored monster yourself. So I thought you would all enjoy coloring in your own monsters. Plus it's school holidays, so you'll enjoy that with some kids. I think the kids would really love those. And then last but not least, I actually did the frames from last month. There was a lot of people asking for the frames in blank form, and I said, nope, no worries, I'll put them in next month. And I also given them to you in a really small size, a medium size, and a large size. And I also had a request to have them spaced out a bit more so that you could just cut along them without having to worry. I know that the last two frames were very sort of semi-close together, so you couldn't get like a straight rectangular cut. So I took that under advisement and I moved them and shifted them so that you could just have them and chop them. And I'm going to be using the larger ones for titles for my collections in my bullet journal. So yeah, there's a bit of everything, a bit of coloring in for you. Like I said, there's a lot of pages, but some of them are double ups because I've obviously given you things that you can color in and stuff. I've just printed them on normal paper. I haven't done any acetate this month. I was kind of in a rush when I went to the printers, but there's a whole heap of fun things that you can use. Lots of little bordery tip-in things. These are going to be fab for having in your journals. I am obsessed with the numbers. I love these numbers so much. I'm going to be using them in my journal this month. I think they're very, very cool, sort of vintage, but still very colorful at the moment. I think the craft really went well with the numbers. And then we've got the beautiful background. So it's kind of a quick one this month. I feel like they took me forever to do because I was just fiddling and fussing with everything. But I really like this little stack, little totem pole of everything. But yeah, I hope you enjoy them. And if you're doing One Book July, how are you going? Are you doing well? It's going all right. I've got my journal is currently in the standard size, so this is my journal. I am keeping my bullet journal and my journal separate, but obviously in the standard cover. So my journal is this little notebook here, which is a 003. And I've just been slowly sort of adding, I'd already started this journal because I'm a serial starter. And I've got little bits and pieces kind of in there. There's this little guy in here. So I'm going to be having a nice hot date with my journal today. And bullet journal wise, I'm doing okay. I haven't written anything in my index yet because nothing really profound has happened where I've needed to document it. I will be working on my collections today because I've slowly started sort of sorting out what collections I want and what I need, what are important. And again, I said this on my Instagram and I said it in Facebook. I've said it everywhere. If you haven't watched Romany's video on the reflection video, I'm going to leave that in the little info box down below. Please go watch it. It is so good and I absolutely loved it. So I've been slowly thinking about what collections are important, what are vital, what bring something to my life, not just making collections for the sake of it. I've been using my little monthlies here, and this is for forward planning and sort of getting because I'm not very good with these. I did it because I know that each month you have to do it, but I don't like it. I have to work out a different setup. I've got my monthly tasks, so this is July and the tasks that I'd like to get done during the month. And then these is my rapid log. This is currently today. So yeah, it's going all right. Like I've got notes for One Book July. That's my first little collection. I just printed the little logo onto a sprocket print, but I haven't done heaps because obviously I've been inundated with collage sheet work. But I will do a more sort of chatty video about my thoughts and feelings of it probably twice this month. When I first did One Book July, I did a check-in every week, but I just don't feel that it's necessary, and I've been really enjoying everyone else's videos. I'm almost finished the book. I got really close to getting it done, and then obviously Collage Sheet sort of kicked my butt, so I'm going to try and finish that today. But if you're doing One Book July, are you enjoying it? Is it going well? But I hope you enjoy the collage sheets for this month. If there's any requests that you want to see, please let me know. I can't wait to see if you guys color in your own monsters, what you end up using. As well, you can always print these smaller. I have got PNG files in the Dropbox folder for you, and PDFs down below. But I envision these to be really big, massive A5 tip-ins. I don't have my A5 anywhere close, but I also thought these would be really cool, the black and white versions. sort of blown up to A5 size and cut out, and then they become a frame border like I've done before in the past. You could laminate them. You could obviously cut out the middle, laminate them and use it for post-it notes. I had so many ideas for these little monsters that I'm going to be trying to do them all basically. So I hope you have a wonderful July. I know we've had quite a little influx of people recently, so hello, welcome. I hope you enjoy the content here, and I hope you enjoy Collage Sheet Week. Again, the tea stained one, the tea stained big monsters are in your sort of download. They're also in the Dropbox folder, but you will see a separate post go up for them because I need to release them to all the levels. So just you guys can ignore that post that's going up in a little while. So these guys are a bonus this month. I didn't do the minis as bonuses. I did these guys because I think people will really enjoy these because they have my heart. Again, size them down. You can print them at half size if you don't want them as massive as I've given them, but I like to give you the option to have them really large, and obviously you can shrink them down yourselves. That is enough chatting. It is school holidays. We need to go to the movies and go see Aladdin. Hopefully it's good. I've heard it's good. I'm reserving my judgment. I don't know if I'm gonna like it, love it. I didn't enjoy Dumbo as much as I wanted to, so I'm a bit hesitant as to if it's gonna be any good or not. But have a wonderful July, guys. I will see you again very soon with a video on my One Book July sort of goings and happenings. You've kind of heard a little bit about it already, but once I've done some more collections and sort of settled into my book a bit more, now that this is over for the month, I can do that, and I'll talk to you again very soon. Bye.